There are certain things that every parent wants their children to know. You want them to know as they begin to move, as little children, tiny babies, that don't go near that fire. That'll burn you. That's really dangerous. They're beginning to move. They're toddlers. You think, well, this is exciting, but don't go near the fire. Don't play with those sharp knives. Don't take those kind of steps near the top of the stairs. You know, there are things, oh, if only they knew. And you want them to make sure they know it. And that's how it is with God. He wants us to know things. He says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. It's knowing things that will help us and serve us. They're wonderful things for us to know. And sometimes we kind of give assent to, but we don't know. There's a very famous verse in Romans 8:28, which says, we know that God makes all things work together for good, for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Now that is a wonderful verse to set us free from the danger of anxiety, fear, worry, things that can really do us harm. Now if we can know it, actually we often quote that verse without quoting the two words we know at the beginning. We often say God makes, but the verse starts, we know that, and it's knowing it. Beloved, we need to ask God to help us to know it. And what it even says in James that we know that we can celebrate even when we're hitting trials. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you enter into all kinds of trial, knowing that the trial of your faith works steadfastness, and steadfastness produces character. You know, because of certain things we know, we can go into trials, difficulties, we can experience God's peace in our hearts. That's our calling, that's the privilege, that's what it is to grow into Christ safely. I know when Paul is writing to the Ephesian church, he says to them, I'm praying for you. I'm praying that you might come to know. I'm praying for a spirit of revelation for you, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, might have power to comprehend with all the saints the height, the depth, the length, the breadth, and to know the love of Christ, which passes knowledge. There's that acknowledgement that there's a kind of knowing that we're not talking about, and a kind of knowledge we are talking about, that you might know what passes mere head knowledge, if you like. God wants us to know things that makes us strong and safe, secure, yet in the midst of trials, in the midst of this setback, this terrible delay, all that we're going through because of the virus, to have our focus on him, things that we know, to be still and know he's God, he's looking after me, he's in control. It's knowing it that does us good. It's knowing it that changes us from the inside. Truth sets us free, truth that we know. God bless you as you drink in his truth on a daily basis and get to know the things that God says are undoubtedly true.